Hello everyone, welcome to Caroline's Craft Tree. Today, week 19 of the CCT 52 challenge. There's information in the description on, I was going to say the rules, but there is no rules, about what the prompts are for. And if you don't have one of the prompts, just put something in that you think is close. So we have, this week, we have scrapbook paper, metal, sweet, wheels, and bow. I gathered up some things. I have metal, which is, it says Merry. I presume it's supposed to be like Merry Christmas, but I found it in a bunch of stuff. And to me, this is all about using up scraps, using up those odds and ends of things that you have no idea what to do with. So that's my metal. I've got this old postcard. I don't know when it's from. But anyways, it is going to be my wheels because all of these cars have wheels. I've got a piece of scrapbook paper here, which kind of have wheels in it. It was already folded. I was going to use it at one time. Not sure if I'm going to leave it whole or just take a piece of it. It's just kind of one of the first pieces I pulled out, so that's what I'm going to use. I've got a bow. And then for sweets, I have some vintage ephemera, copies of vintage ephemera on baking and stuff. So that's what I'm going to use for sweets. And this actually comes from my Delicious Daisy kit. So I'm going to somehow incorporate one or more of these into my project. Now, how is all this going to go together? I have no idea, because what I do for these is I take this and I just start rooting through my stuff. I've got like this big box full of just odds and ends of mostly more ribbons, fabrics, lacy type bits, but I keep it all the odds and ends of scrappy stuff in here. And then I have a box that I'll keep odds and ends, like these metal bits and, you know, things I have one of type thing. So I'm trying to use up all those little bits and pieces. So that's what I'm doing here. Now, excuse my reach. I put everything into here. Now this here would fit in here. Sort of. I think it's going to be too bulky, though, to use whole, because this is already getting really, really full. So I think I'm going to end up using a piece of it. Now what I'm contemplating is turning this into a pocket. Now, one of the reasons I choose this is because those are kind of like wheels as well. In my eyes, they're like wheels. So I'm thinking on putting that there, but maybe I should put it on the inside. Let's bring in the paper cutter. And let's trim off where it's been folded. So we got one there, and let's trim off right. I want to trim off the fold is what I want to do. That doesn't seem like it's straight, so let's try it from this angle. Okay, so that's, I just want to see if this is going to fit on one of the pages in here. Okay, I need to cut it down a little bit, so let's get that done. Let's trim off this. I don't know how much. Let's trim off 3/4 of an inch. Okay, let's put that off there. We've got some scraps to use at a later date. I'm thinking maybe could make it into a flip in the journal. I think that's what I might do. But I want to put this in here. I want to make this as a pocket. Now at some point I might just stitch this in. That's gonna have a little border all the way around, so let's make a couple lines here, so then we can trim this off. Okay, and then it's going to be a pocket. These challenges, I try to do mine as simple as possible. Let's just ink this up before we glue all this stuff on, or do whatever we're doing. I'm still not sure what all I'm doing yet, but making it into a flip actually sounds like not a bad idea. Ink this side, even though I can't really see it, but I can see some white from where I cut, and I don't like that. So let's do that. Let's ink up this too. I'm not sure where I got. I think this was one of the postcards I got from Betty. She gave me a whole bunch of beautiful, beautiful postcards and cards. And okay, do I want it that way? I guess it doesn't really matter. So let's start by do I want something around some of that? No, let's just glue that down, because I think I will eventually sew this on with maybe a metallic thread or something. I don't do a lot of the hand stitching on video because it is time consuming, and not everybody enjoys watching a needle going in and out of paper. But if more hand stitching is something that you would like to see, please let me know. Let's try to put that on fairly even. We've got that there. Now we have, thinking maybe some of these, maybe just using them in here. Let's cut this one out here. Thinking maybe this tall one too. Let's quickly cut this out. Now ideally I would have printed these on a cardstock. I use a 65-pound cardstock from Staples, which for the most part is fine for what I do. Or, you know, I like the paper, the cardstock, and the paper I use is a 24-pound copy paper. The stuff I'm currently using, my kids bought it at Costco's for me. So you get like 800 sheets in a package, and they were very reasonable price. It seems like very good quality paper, and it's a great weight for journal pages and stuff, I think. I have quite a bit of it. They bought me a couple packages. When I'm done that, I might go to a different brand, but I'm also thinking on maybe going to a 28 pound. Let's ink this up. Do it as quick as I can. Let's ink this one up too. Now I could definitely put more of these into this pocket, which I just might do, you never know. Let's see what... So I'm just thinking on these going in here. I'm thinking this. I was thinking on putting that like on the front. Kind of like that actually. So let's cut out this one here. And we'll add that to the back, in the pocket in the back. And then we've got to decide, what are we going to do with this metal piece, and what are we going to do with the bow? And I have not really thought about it as of yet, but we will be shortly, because I need to get it done. I appreciate everybody that's following along and posting their own videos of what they do for the CCT 52 challenge, because I love seeing what people make. So we got a couple of those. Now we could put like the bow back on here. We could also have it on the front. I thought the brown bow went good with all the other colors. And then we also have this. So what if we did something like that? And let's see, maybe we can put this little guy in there somewhere. It's for chocolate. That's gotta be sweet. Thought about using like candies or something on, or a candy wrapper, but actually didn't have anything like that. So there is that. Let's do this. Just to use up a couple more pieces, we could put something like that. I don't think I want the bow on the bottom, but we could maybe put this right like that with the bow at the top. So this is, I'm thinking on stitching this on, but now I can't stitch it to here because I've got the card on the back, but I could stitch it to these papers and put a little piece of cardstock behind it, just to kind of hold it there. Let's just take a little piece of cardstock, and this could be just go right behind there. You wouldn't even see it by the time I'm done. And then that would give this some stability. So let's do that. That is what we're doing. Let's glue this down. Okay, let's glue that down to here. Now this, let's just put a little bit of glue. Where am I going to put this? Somewhere right about there. So let's just put some glue right down there for that piece of paper. As I say, we won't even see that by the time we're done. It's just to give this some stability. I figured this would be really hard to glue down. That's why I decided that sewing it down was the way to go. So we can just snip that off there. And that off there. Put a little bit of ink on the sides. And let's just get a little more glue right along the edge. Let's put a little bit down on here. I like to make sure everything's glued down really, really good. Okay, now this can go here. I've got a needle and that right here. Now I don't need a lot of stitches. Hold on. I need to choose a piece of foam and this. So let's put this where we want it. And now let's put in a couple of holes. So we'll go there and there. As I say, we don't need like a ton of sewing on it. We just need a little bit. Let's do let's do at the top of the M, and let's do some at the bottom of the M, and let's do some at the bottom of the Y. There we go. Now we have holes that we can kind of go in and out of, and whoops, I guess I didn't really need to take that off, did I? Let's sort of line this up. Okay, we're just gonna go, I figured just with, this is just kind of an off-white thread. It's just an embroidery floss is all. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tie this so then it doesn't come off again. Just put a couple knots in there. What's going on here? Okay, let's 3 knots. Always do 3 knots. Okay, cut that off. We don't need it. What else do we got? Okay, this has to go up. Things like these can be, where's my other holes? Okay, one's right there. One is right there. So let's go in and out of this one more time. Just to give it a little extra hold. Because this will be all that holds us on is the thread. So then went up and down here a little bit. I don't even know where I got this little piece. As I say, I presume that it's supposed to be for Merry Christmas, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, now What did I do here? Okay. It's turning to be a little bit harder than I thought, sewing this in place. But that's okay. Okay, that needs to come down here. Whoops, hold on. Okay. Hold on. Okay. It won't move as much now, I hope, because we've got two spots. The other one was right above the E. I do like putting my holes in because it makes where I need to put the needle so much easier. Okay, 1 stitch and 2 stitch. And then, oh, there we go. And then there's one on the top of the M. So we got 1, and then we've got 2, and then we have 1 at the bottom of the M. So we've got 1 there. And then we've got 2 stitches there. And I don't think that's going to go anywhere. That's on there pretty solid. I'm just going to do a couple ½ inches behind, underneath a couple of my stitches. And again, this is going to be glued down, so I'm not worried about the knots coming out. There's that. And I'm just going to go up and under there. Whoops. Just so then I have a little bit more string there, and that's going to get totally glued down. There is that. Let's get rid of that. So now that is going to go right there. Let's glue that down. We're going to glue the whole thing down. You could make it a pocket, but then I got to worry about things snagging on all the little bits and pieces that are on the back. So we will just glue her all down. Okay, there's that. Let's put that down. Leaving a bit of edge. There is. Make sure I get that down. I need something long. Where's my bone folder here? Just so I can kind of get down against that to make sure that that's all glued down. The paper kind of puckered a bit there from the stitching and whatnot, which is okay. We can work our way around that. Still sticking up a tiny little bit there. So just make sure that we get that down nice and tight. There we go. Now, our bow, we could put it on the front or we could put it back here. I think I like it back here. Just kind of helps cover up. Gives a little decoration. But being that we have our little bits and pieces of everything, let's just layer up a couple of things just to add a little bit of extra. What else do we got? How about a little piece of this? Let's hang that down there, and we're going to put the bow on top. I think that will work. What else do we have maybe? Before we make the final choice, could also put some of this type of stuff on there. Although I don't know if this is the right color for... I don't like that color. It just doesn't go with anything. But I've got lots of other... How about a little piece of this on there? This will go on there. Okay, let's put some glue. And let's glue down this little piece of gold stuff. This stuff does not glue down at all. Let's just try to get it sort of stuck down, which is just not going to work. So let's put, I'm going to put a couple big drops because I want this other stuff to stick everything down together. Oh, now I'm all stuck up. Okay, we got that. Now stay there. Come on now. And then we got this here. So that's going to kind of hold everything down. And now let's put some glue right on top of that, because that's where the bow is going to go. Right like that. These bows, I don't know, they came somehow. I didn't tie them, so they came in something that I had or found or something. Just got to hold that down for a second to make sure that's glued down there good. Oh, and then I never did put the white thing on there. Oh well, that's okay. So now we have our little journaling card flip type something or other. So we've got, what do we got here? We've got scrapbook paper, we've got metal, we've got our sweets, we have our wheels, and we have our bow. Nothing too complicated. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, as they say. Now, where are we going to put this? Because it is pretty big. And like I say, I think we're going to do a flip out of it. So it could go almost any page. Something like this, or we could also just paper clip it in. So I'm going to leave it for now, because maybe in one of my challenges I will make a paper clip out of the item, and I could use that for the paper clip. So I think that is what I'm going to do. But there is week 19 of the challenge. Hope you're playing along. Hope you enjoy these videos. Check out all the links and have some fun. We'll see you again soon. Bye.